I thought that was the end of XRESOLVER, but I was wrong. The statement they put on their webpage when it was down, um, apparently not true. Apparently not true. Okay. Let's get into this for a moment, okay? Before you decide to spend the money and give Octo the money to blacklist your gamertag and IP address from XResolver and PSN Resolver, please watch the rest of this video. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple things that you should check, okay? And I'm going to show you another way to prevent yourself from being DDoSed in the first place. And, you know, if someone pulls your IP, it doesn't even matter because it's some server somewhere, okay? It's not even yours. That would be a VPN. Okay, I'm going to show you how to set that up. But don't spend your money, because if you spend your money, you're providing XResolver and PSN Resolver more money to stay operational. Okay, I don't want this site up and running. I don't want any of these sites up and running personally. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm going to do anything malicious, but I don't like the idea of sites like this existing in the first place. So don't give them your money. And the reason that I say XResolver and PSN Resolver and Octo are affiliated, despite what they say, this is a seriously scummy marketing tactic by Octo, in my opinion. And this is just a theory, okay? Because you've got these two sites that are basically fear-mongering with IP addresses and gamer tags that's just open source and anybody with an internet connection can see them, okay? That's basically going to drive fear to the Xbox consumers, PlayStation consumers. Anybody that uses Xbox or PlayStation is going to be afraid if their gamer tag is there. So they see, oh, so I can blacklist this, I can blacklist my gamer tag and prevent myself from being seen by the general public. Okay? But that doesn't prevent you from being DDoSed in the first place. That just prevents you from being DDoSed by the general public, right? From like freebooters like StressThem.2. Anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead and check out the changes that have been implemented with XResolver. Just wanted to interrupt for a second and tell you something else that I noticed yesterday when I looked at the site when it came back online. Where it says contact information in that link or whatever to remove your gamer tag, it used to require you to put your first and last name, your zip code, email address, basically fishing for more information along with your IP address. Like, I don't I don't want to give you that information. I don't see why anybody in their right mind would want to give this site that information. Okay? Anyways, moving on. Alright, listen. See this? See that receding hairline? You know what that means? That means I've been around the block a couple times, okay? I'm not that old, but I feel really old. Okay? So I think I have a pretty good understanding of marketing schemes. Anyways. Okay, so as you can see, all that they've really changed at first glance is this logo up here on the top left and this logo here on the resolve link. Okay, you still got the same gamertag thing here. They also removed the basically them touting about how much IP addresses they have stored and all that stuff up here. That's now gone as well. But right here it'll say legal /data removal, and then underneath there's a link that says contact information, and then this is where you would basically have your name removed. This does not blacklist you on Octosniff's service or platform, database, whatever, but this will remove your gamertag from the site. This doesn't prevent it from getting sniffed again. It clearly says that up here. I mean, you can read it. So basically you fill out this, enter your gamer tag. It's actually just going to show you your IP address, the one that you're connecting to XRESOLVER with. My gamer tag has never been on XRESOLVER. I don't join parties with people that I don't know, usually. Okay, so to further kind of solidify the whole marketing tactic thing, like, why would they have a link here that literally just directly links to Octosniff, even though it says advertisements, we are not affiliated with the advertisers below? But who's advertising below? Octosniff and OctoVPN. This is just a scummy marketing scheme, is really all it is. Okay, and the people that are booting you offline are probably little kids. I don't know. Their embryonic selves haven't quite matured yet to the point where they realize that this is not an okay thing to do. Yeah, aka DDoSing people. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move to the aspect of protecting yourself, right? There's a couple of things you can do. If your IP's on here, first thing you can do, the free thing you can do, is log into your modem and see if you have a dynamic modem, like a dynamic IP. If you have a dynamic IP, then your internet service provider leases you out a new IP however long the lease term is. I think most of them are like a week long, and then it renews and gives you a new IP address. But you can speed this process along by logging into your modem. Okay, so to log into your modem, basically there's a sticker on the modem, and it will say GUI address, graphic user interface address, and I have mine memorized, so I'm just gonna type that in real quick and head over to it. Okay, and then this is where you would log in. If the credentials haven't been changed, I've changed mine, but I kept admin the same just because it's easy to remember, but I've changed the password. Alright, so once you're logged in, you go to modem status here, and it will tell you IP connection type right here, dynamic IP. Okay, what this means is your IP changes. It doesn't stay the same. If you don't have a dynamic IP, it'll say static, and it will never change, and you'll have to change it by getting a new modem. You might be able to request a new IP from your internet service provider, but if they set you on a static, it's probably going to be kind of annoying to get them to do that for you. Okay, so as you can see, the last 4 digits of this IP are 61.21. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go in here and reboot my modem. And to do that, I'm just going to go to Utilities and click Reboot and press OK. Okay, and we'll be back once this is all done to show you the difference in the IP, to show you that this works. So once you've restarted it, it's gonna, during the reboot process, it's gonna kick you out and you'll have to log back in again. Once you've logged back in again, go ahead and quickly go back to modem status and see. I can see that my IP has changed. Okay. So imagine the frustration of the 10-year-old kid that's trying to boot you offline on a site like XRESOLVER. Okay, they're just mashing that attack button, dude. They've typed it in, they pulled it right off XRESOLVER, PSN Resolver, whatever, and they're just mashing that attack button, right? Nothing's happening. you're still in the game, just chilling just fine. Because guess what? Your IP is different. In fact, he's probably hitting somebody he's not even trying to hit and doesn't even know he's hitting somebody else. Because his ISP released it to somebody else. Okay? There's only a certain amount of IP addresses that are available on IPv4. Okay? And we're getting pretty damn close to capacity, which is why we're trying to move into IPv6. And that's why IPv6 and IPv4 are kind of like side by side right now on the network worldwide. But moving on, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna show you how to set up VPN on your Xbox. A couple things you're gonna need though. You're gonna need a Cat 5e cable or above. It could be a Cat 6, Cat 7, whatever. As long as it's higher than a Cat 5e or a Cat 5e equivalent. Okay, and you can tell because it will say Cat 5 on the cable. Just make sure you check on the Ethernet cable, because if it's not Cat 5e, it's not going to work. Your VPN, you're going to need to get a VPN. You can get a VPN from anywhere, okay? Don't get OctoVPN because it just... You already know why. Just refer to earlier in the video, and, you know, this is just a theory, but I have a hunch that I'm correct, okay? I just got just a little inkling that I'm correct. Anyways, moving forward, NordVPN, private internet access, just look, you know, check. They all have different price ranges and everything. So just look into it. I use private internet access. I haven't had any issues with it. And this is not an advertisement. That's just the one that I picked. It's not super expensive. Now, the other thing you're going to need to set up a VPN is a PC. Okay. Now, I'm just going to show you the way that I have it set up. Okay. I have this PC. This PC has 2 Ethernet ports, so one goes from the modem into my PC, right? And then from my PC to my Xbox. And to set that up, it's really easy to set it up in here. So right here I have my VPN internet connection. It says private internet access, local area connection. Okay. And then right here I have my PC and my Xbox. And you can rename these, right? Because otherwise it's not going to be named. It's going to have its own little name, like it's going to be like Realtek PCI Express 2.5 whatever, or Intel R 1211 gigabit network. That's going to be like the wireless adapter, or not the wireless adapter, the internet adapter that is being used. Anyways, you can click rename this section and it'll rename it. So what you do, there's a lot of things you can do in this menu. But anyways, oh, sorry, I should probably show you how to get to this. I didn't think about that. So let's backpedal real quick. I'm getting ahead of myself here. You can click on this, or you can pull it up a different way. But this is the way that I do it. And click on status. And then you go to change adapter options. Anyways, we already covered this. So once we're in here, we go to properties on the PC. Make sure you're on the PC one. Make sure you know which one is which. You can verify that by clicking properties and then checking the IP address and everything. And then check this box that says allow other network users to connect through this computer's internet connection. And then make sure that it's for your Xbox. Okay? And like I said, I renamed this, so it's going to be totally different for you. I just renamed them for simplicity, make it easier for me to like remember which one's which. Okay, and then once you've done that, I know it says unidentified network, but it works for me, and I'm going to go ahead and just prove that to you real quick. Okay. So, we're going to slide that up, and then slide this up. As you can see, I am connected to Xbox Live. I am actually in an Xbox party with a friend that I know. Okay, you can see all this. This is active stuff right now. Okay, so with that said, I hope this helps some of you guys out. I hope a lot of the viewers watching this have a dynamic IP. If you do not have a dynamic IP, you might end up having to get a new modem that offers a dynamic IP service. Okay. So you might be able to talk your internet service provider into releasing you a different static IP, maybe, but it might be hard to talk them into doing that. So, just forewarning for you. The other thing is make sure that your friends list doesn't have members of the Octo community on it. Because even if they're on your friends list, just them being on your friends list allows them to sniff an IP. If you're in a party and they aren't even in the party, they can actually sniff the IP just by clicking on your profile and seeing that you're in a party, right? And then they can sniff everybody's IP that's in that party just by being on your friends list. So I would honestly, if I were you, I would go through and do a good clean audit of your friends list and make sure that the people on it you actually trust and know. Okay? And don't, obviously, I mean, I'm sounding like a broken record at this point. Don't join random parties. Don't accept random friend requests. Okay? Just don't. You could use other means of talking. Um, honestly, my friends list isn't that large. I don't have a large friends list, and obviously my gamer tag and credentials are blurred out on the menu. Okay? I do not want to be a target. But I'm gonna get to some Siege now. And I hope you guys have a good night. Or a good day. It's night for me. Obviously, it's dark. I have a skylight in here. It would be much brighter if I didn't. Anyways, follow these steps and stuff, and stay safe out there. All right. But wait, there's more. The thing about IP addresses is they're kind of like phone numbers in the sense that it's public information. It has to be public in order to be able to share, send and receive packets from one IP to another. It's just how the internet works. So, you can obtain the IP address that XRESOLVER's website wants you to see by doing this. And I'm sure it changes frequently because it's hosted by a web hosting service. Bootstrap is actually the service that they use to design the website, and Bootstrap is probably also the hosting service. And then Cogento is also a data center. Actually, Cogento has a lot of has a lot of data centers. But yeah, this IP is in Los Angeles, California.